Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your last start and sit video for week 4. We are talking the tight end position, which is most likely your most difficult position to figure out who to start and play. Just because the tight end, unless you're Travis Kelce or TJ Hawkinson, have really struggled this season so far. Now, I know we're 3 weeks in, but I've got some players that you may want to put in here, and I've got some big names that you're going to be surprised as a good sit. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys check out our other start and sit videos, running back, quarterback, wide receivers, to help you guys with your lineup this week. And of course, if you have questions for your lineups or still trying to pick up players, hit us up in the comments down below, and we'll be able to help you guys out with that. So these are your obvious tight ends for this week. I've got Kelce, Laporta, and Hawkinson. At this time, Laporta has really shown that he should be someone you're starting week in and week out. This offense is really explosive. And right now, he's done a really good job filling in the shoes of TJ Hawkinson, who obviously was traded last year. So I like that one. Now, the first tight end I have as a good start this week is going to be Logan Thomas versus the Eagles. Eagles, before Sunday's game against the Bucs, really have struggled against tight ends, allowing an average of 7 targets a game towards them and 18 points as well. They have given up a total of 3 touchdowns so far, and with the Commanders most likely playing behind, Logan absolutely should have a benefit in this one. I know he was dealing with concussion, which allowed him to miss last week. He's been full practice this week, so he should be good to go. And again, Sam Howell is going to rely on him as his security blanket and giving him the ball. I'm expecting a 10 to 12 point game out of this one for him, just because of the opportunities he's going to see with the Commanders most likely playing behind. Now, another tight end I like this week is going to be Pat Freiermuth versus the Texans. Texans have allowed 12 points to the tight end the last 2 games, just giving up over 65 yards to Ingram this past Sunday. Muth has not performed as expected. A lot of people drafted him pretty high as far as a tight end, and he has not played well. Seeing the most targets last week with only 4. But realistically, the Steelers' passing offense has looked horrendous, and a lot of that is the offensive line hasn't played well. Pickett isn't looking great. He looked great in the preseason, and that was it. This is a good game for Freiermuth and hopefully Pickett to turn around just because of the matchup. And if this doesn't change, right now we might have to go after some different players for your roster. Now, the last tight end I have is Evan Ingram versus the Falcons. Nice early game Sunday morning. Should be a good one for Evan Ingram. Falcons just gave up 22 points to the rookie Sam Laporta, and Ingram just had a 13-point game himself. Ingram has become really a safety blanket for Lawrence so far, which is great. And again, this is an opportunity for Ingram to have another 13 to 16 point game just because of what is really being force fed to him. Now, I do think Ridley might have a really good game because this is his old team before he got traded. So I'm looking forward to that matchup, but I still think Evan Ingram's going to have a really good one. Now, my first tight end I'm going to recommend as a sit will probably shock you. I've got Mark Andrews versus the Browns. Browns have been amazing against the tight end. They've held them to only 26 yards total combined in 3 games. Against tight ends like Irv Smith, Freiermuth, Chigo, Andrews could still put up an okay game because of just who he is, but I don't love this matchup at all. I am looking at other possible options if I can. I don't want you to obviously sit Andrews if you don't have a really good, reliable backup, and I understand it. There's not a lot of great tight ends, but I wouldn't be shocked if he only puts up 5 to 7 points. Like, that's the kind of performance that the Browns have done really well in this defense, and they've looked phenomenal. So I'm a little nervous for Mark Andrews. I'm looking at sitting him. Now, in that same game, I have David Njoku versus the Ravens. He's definitely a sit for me. He's got a tough matchup against the Ravens, who have only allowed 45 yards in the 3 games and keeping tight ends under 3 points a game. This is going to be a really close defensive game between the Browns and the Ravens. I expect a nice run game between the two. I expect some good defenses, maybe a play here and there, and that's where I think it's going to separate. And I think at the end of the day, a field goal is going to decide this matchup. Just because both defenses have played well. You know, Deshaun Watson hasn't been great. Lamar's okay, but really his rushing abilities helped, again, like anything else, keep them in games. So I'm a little nervous for Njoku. Now, my last tight end I'm sitting this week is Jake Ferguson versus the Patriots. The Pats have been great holding tight ends to 4.6 points a game. First game of the season, they held Goddard to 0 points. Ferguson has been heavily targeted so far from a standpoint where Dak is force feeding him, but Ferguson has had some big drops in these games. He does not look great as far as the consistency that you're hoping out of your tight end. He has seen some red zone work, which is great. But like anything else, Patriots defense has always done really well. This is a game that maybe he gets some targets, but I don't expect a lot out of him, even though I do for the rest of the season. Now, my sleeper this week, I have Dalton Kincaid versus the Dolphins. Kincaid, prior to a tough Commanders defense, had seen 9 targets in 2 games. Last week against the Commanders, he didn't play well. Neither did Dawson Knox. That's with Knox still seeing a huge amount of snaps, and I think Kincaid still is going to take advantage of it. Those 9 targets in 2 games is huge. I like this matchup for Kincaid because, again, I expect a 4 to 5 target game for him, which is going to be an opportunity for him to get to those 8 to 10 points, and if he gets a touchdown, might get you into the 15, 16-point range. Dolphins have allowed 2 touchdowns so far to the tight end, so again, this matchup is a really good one for him. You could put Knox too if you have him in your roster, but I like Kincaid just a little bit more because he was heavily targeted more than Knox. So those are my start sits and sleepers for week 4 for the tight end. Again, if you haven't already, check out our other start sit videos for you, and make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We are running a jersey giveaway as soon as we get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. So again, make sure you guys are subscribed. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys hit the like button as well. Check out our other start and sit videos, and I'll catch you guys next time.